Castleville School and Performing Arts College in Birmingham was built in the 60s when power was cheap. It's pretty shabby now and hemorrhaging energy and huge amounts of cash.
Here's one of our 40-something-year-old metal window frames, and they leak in good measure both wind and rain. We've got something like 30 computers in this room and printers as well. When left on overnight, the energy usage is absolutely massive.
But things are going to change. We've brought in energy-saving expert Ken Heaton to shake things up.
Deputy Head, lights on, spotlight on. PC in standby mode.
You're looking at savings of £10,000 a year.
Over the course of a single term, Ken, head teacher Clive Owen and NQT Jordan Kelly will try to meet the challenge of transforming the school's culture, saving thousands of pounds and vastly reducing its carbon footprint. Castleville is going green. Over 3 programmes, we'll be showing you how this community works to change its culture to become a more sustainable and energy-efficient school.
You have to keep signs from now and then. Don't forget to empty your bins. Put the gate in there.
We'll find out about some simple, free, quick wins. Simply switching off equipment can save a fortune.
That's off and the light are now off.
And we'll see why simple solutions can still be difficult in practice.
I was hoping you were going to tell me that you'd implemented weekly meter readings 3 weeks ago after I left, so I'm a little bit disappointed there.
So stand by for some genuine insights on what it takes for a school to start going green. North Birmingham's Castleville estate has had a major facelift over the last 12 years. £300 million was spent replacing tower blocks with new housing. And more recently, its secondary school has got a new head teacher. 2 years ago, Clive Owen arrived on a mission to raise academic standards. Until now, sustainability has not been high on his agenda.
We're at a point where we can start to be a little bit more expansive about the kind of things we might like to try. And a number of children have come to us recently with ideas about recycling and being a bit greener. But in truth, we're really not very far on the actual green agenda. And it's something that is in the school improvement plan, something we'd like to do to be more energy efficient, to be more organised about those kind of issues. So we're really quite excited by the idea of the project and moving forward to become a greener, more energy efficient school. The lighting we've got in the corridors here, they're not energy saving in any way whatsoever, and they're often left on until 10 o'clock at night. We've still got in this particular toilet the old-fashioned taps, and there's often get a waste of water. They're often left on.
And the heating system wastes a lot of money too. But site manager Martin Field can do very little about it.
The heating system is very old and it's not zoned. The heating's either on or off. Having seen the fantastic boilers that we've got, the other end of the system is these radiators, old cast iron, very inefficient, and no valves for any temperature control.
Here's one of about 15 or so air conditioning machines we've got in the school now. Our problem is, when I'm leaving school of a night time, we often find a number of them just left on, and I have to go round and press the buttons and turn them off. Here's one of our more bizarre issues regarding energy conservation. Up in the roof there, when you look, is our heating pipes. And it's clearly a big issue. It's very cold in here. The heating doesn't have any impact whatsoever. What we can do about it, I've no idea, but a very strange 1960s building.
Picking up on our challenge to get greener by Christmas is NQT Jordan Kelly. He's volunteered to lead the school's drive towards sustainability, a brave move in his first full year of teaching science. He's a man who's passionate about the environment and the contributions schools can make.
When I came to Castleville, I noticed that no paper was recycled from classrooms, which shocked me a bit because there's a huge amount of waste.
Jordan set up a green team to get colleagues motivated and involved as soon as possible. It meets for the first time just before half-term.
Welcome to our first Green Team meeting. The main idea is to get every single kid in the school in some way interested and involved. And if that means that they just turn up and do a tiny little bit, that would be great.
I think it's really important that from an educational point of view that they do as much of the research and the writing to people as much as possible.
The new Key Stage 4 science curriculum has a lot of we've written our own schemes of work, but part of what we wrote for physics was kids going home and auditing their own energy use at home and looking at where wastage occurs, such as leaving things on standby, so switching off, how often their lights are left on, windows left open when not necessary. So it ties into that really neatly as well.
I mean, involving it in the curriculum it'd be really great, because whatever projects we undertake, we want that sustainability, so that it's not just a flash in the pan for a year or two where we're green. It actually carries on year after year after year.
There are lots of simple things that we can do and aim for, such as switching lights off, recycling paper, but I'm hoping we can come up with some really unique ideas using the pupils to help us, because they have got some great ideas.
If his plan's going to work, Jordan knows that it will all depend on his students' enthusiasm and environmental awareness.
You walk up the stairs, you see paper all over the stairs. It's like, how hard would it be to hold it until you get into a classroom and put it into a bin?
The teachers go into the rooms, turn the lights on, go out and lock the doors so no one can turn the lights off again.
Miss Cooney, she left the light on the other day, so I told her off it.
If everybody tries, if they see paper and they put it into a bin, or they see a light on and they turn it off, it could work.
Meet Ken Heaton, energy-saving expert. We brought Ken in to identify where the school was wasting energy and losing money. He's barely said hello before he's on Clive Owen's case about saving electricity.
What you should be doing is that. Your monitor's still on, your base unit's still on, your program's still on, but you've just saved 65 watts there. Just that little button there. That's all it is. Every piece of equipment that we can turn off and save £5, it's £5 to you and your school to spend on books or whatever you want. And on top of that, we're saving CO2 emissions being released to the atmosphere.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Clive, you are the key to this. You have to really be a shining example. You have to be not only a green champion, you have to be a green master guardian.
Ken works for a national support services company and looks after the entire property portfolio of the probation service. He's got more than 20 years' experience in energy management, and he's saved his clients millions of pounds.
What my plan of action is today is to carry out an energy audit of the school, and I'm just going to treat it like any other business. Because once we start, this isn't going to stop. Energy management's here to stay, and it's the future. We have to get it right, and we will.
That's fantastic. I mean, have we got some examples that we can give the students of, perhaps in maths or geography or whatever, of the kind of savings we can expect to make from turning off computers or lights and what it might save the school?
Yeah. Later today, I'll do a presentation, and I'll tell them some quick wins on how much how much they can save, both in money terms, and I'll convert that into carbon dioxide emissions, into kilograms, into tonnes, and I'll explain what a tonne of carbon dioxide is, but I'll put it into language that the children can understand.
The green audit starts at the bursar's office. Ken isn't happy to find Lorraine Dowes makes her own tea.
Do we not have communal tea and coffee making facilities on this floor? It just would be nice to actually get away from actually having kettles in the offices, and we all have one central point.
Yes, you're
because kettles use an awful lot of energy.
That's right.
We obviously have heating problems because we've got an electric heater here.
We don't use it.
You don't use it?
No.
OK. If you don't use it and that radiator is adequate to heat the room, we actually remove it from the office. Because having it here is just going to encourage people to actually use it. It's a temptation. Wow! Look at the savings in here. Look at it, classic. Large empty room, all the lights on. Lots of natural daylighting from the windows. Nobody here. Oh, there we go. I'm happy with that, because now we have saved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All we need to do is we ensure that we mark up the switches with some coloured dots here to ensure that when there's no activity, they switch the lights off, and we will save somewhere in the region of £200 a year just by doing that one action. Simple. I'm also a great believer in promoting best practice. This is best practice. Natural daylight round the edges with the windows and the lights off. This is excellent.
Castlevale's redevelopment has transformed a run-down housing estate. Some of the new houses were built with solar panels. Renewable energy and high levels of insulation are a big contrast to the 60s technology at the school. Local people had a big say in the new estate, and Jordan Kelly tapped into the expertise of the Community Environment Trust. Project leader Alicia Gran Cristobal takes him to a secondary school who've just installed a solar panel system.
It would be nice to have something innovative at the school. I mean, I'm sure most of the kids wouldn't have seen too many solar panels around. It's not like they're everywhere at the moment.
I think it's the first school in West Midlands installing the first solar school actually.
Swanshurst School is a specialist science college 8 miles away from Castlevale. They've been going green for 3 years now and have spent £4,000 on a system which is symbolic, environmentally friendly and money saving.
Here we are around about 12:30 and the sun is directly on it. Those panels, at this time of the year it's going to go behind that building soon so you can see where the shadow is. But even so, you know, on a November day with the sun, it doesn't seem that warm to me. Those panels are generating heat for our water, and that water is saving us money, and it's saving the environment, it's saving the CO2.
The panels heat up water, which is piped into the building into a holding tank and an immersion heater. Hot water in schools has to be heated to 65 degrees centigrade to kill off bacteria.
The hot water generated by the solar thermal panels comes into this tank, and it says that it's saving 366 kilowatt hours since probably July. If that's a couple of months, we're on 366 kilowatt hours. You know, imagine what that's going to be doing at the end of the year, and it's an easy costing. Temperature, it says here, is 55.9 degrees centigrade. So I've almost got water that is hot enough to use just from the sunshine.
Back at Castlevale, caretaker Jerry Watson shows Ken the school's water meter.
Between here and the school building, there's a lot of underground pipe work where potentially there could be an underground water leak. And if there was, that would be spinning around quite fast. Just by a quick visual glance at here, it's fairly obvious that we've not got a problem with an underground leak here. Any school that's got an electricity invoice, if you look for the M-band number and it begins with 00, it means you've got interval data, which means you can see the half-hour profiles for electricity every half hour for the school from midnight to midnight. So you can see what time the lights are coming on and what time they're going off and what they're using over the weekend. And if you contact the electricity supplier, they will send you the half-hour data in Excel for a month. Easy. We've got good insulation on the pipeworks, but there are improved insulation we can make on the flanges and valves. We get like Velcro wrap-round jackets to wrap round these and keep them nice and warm and stop the heat loss, because if you feel that, that's very warm. There's a lot of wasted heat coming from there, and just something as simple as that will save a few £100s a year.
Easy savings in a modern boiler room, but Ken soon discovers how decrepit the school's ancient heating system really is.
Do these work in general, Jerry? Are they just basically on and off valves? They're not thermostats?
They are, but we don't encourage them to switch them on and off.
Why
because
is
of the age of the building. We do get a lot of problems with the valves and what have you. They tend to switch them on and off.
Basically, when they're hot in this classroom, the alternative is to put the air conditioning on and not turn off the radiators. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a serious problem.
Back at Swanshurst School, some advice for Jordan and Alicia about improving the school's grounds.
How green is the school in terms of its grounds?
Pretty much concrete.
Right, and don't get put up, but see whether there is ways of greening up the site in any way, even if it is just a small bit like a garden, or if you've got perimeter fence that could have some hedge material put into the perimeter fence, which would have, again, a double bonus. It would provide you with habitat for the wildlife. It would also provide you screening from the outside of the fence and look better than just a bare fence for a start off.
Today's meeting was so helpful, just to see how another school have done it from the start, from the stage that we are at. That's where they were about 3 years ago. We're going in the right direction and we're doing things in the right order. It's really, really comforting and encouraging to see that.
It's lunchtime now. Good opportunity to do a snapshot of what's going on in the classrooms during the lunchtime. And we'll see what energy saving measures we can find in here. Be looking for a slight dip, which will reflect shutting down lights, PCs, equipment in school classrooms over the lunchtime period. Mr. Bennett. Deputy Head.
Deputy Head.
Lights on. Spotlight on. PC in standby mode. You can tell just by the little orange light there. And the lights, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4. Another PC monitor in standby mode. That's in standby mode as well. All these little bits add up. Mr. Bennett is in trouble. Look at them all! Every single PC, you can see the flashing green light on the screen. You can see the red illuminated mouse. Everything is on standby instead of actually being completely off. Very simply, just flick switch, flick switch, flick switch. Energy savings in the bag. The nice monitor here that is not actually on standby, it's actually on screensaver. And there's this misconception that screensavers save energy. Wrong. In a lot of instances, screensavers increase energy consumption. Do not leave PCs on screensaver.
Castle Vale has more than 400 PCs, so there's huge scope for saving money.
Assuming 50% of the PCs are left in screensaver, and we take them off screensaver and just turn them off, out of office, out of normal operational hours within the school, you're looking at savings of £10,000 a year.
Incredible.
Big.
10 grand is a big return for very little investment. But for Castle Vale, going green's not just about saving money. It's about engaging pupils in a process that aims to transform attitudes and practice right through the school. So meet 4 new members of the Green Team, 2 boys and 2 girls from years 9 and 10. Their role is to be figureheads representing 800 students. Ken's got plenty for them to get their teeth into.
If we implement the right procedures and policies and disciplines within this school, we can save £10,000. That's approximately 28 tonnes of carbon dioxide. Picture 28 hot air balloons in the sky. That is how much CO2 this school can save in a year in carbon dioxide by improving the management of the PCs. Today I'm very much focused on the quick wins, and I'm particularly concerned about the classrooms. You've got security grills on the windows. You can't really get to the radiators, you can't really turn the radiators off, and now we're having to turn on air conditioning to cool the room down, so we're heating the room and we're cooling the room, and it's costing us energy to get rid of energy, and it's crazy.
It's exactly like you said, the radiator's on full blast, the aircon's going and they can't get the window open.
Yeah.
Those grills you talked about, we've got those open this afternoon.
Yeah.
Turn the aircon off, turn the radiator off and open the window.
Wonderful!
Getting back to your quick hits, if we put the responsibility for lights and computers and PCs in your hands in the classroom, and that you are the ones who tell your teachers when they are doing bad for the environment and bad for the school and bad for, the cost of running the place, it'll make us switch the things off.
And go around maybe with some posters and stickers saying, "We caught you." Let's name and shame.
Yeah, we could name and shame the teachers, which would be good. But I think the pupils that are in charge of it, who are doing well, should get prizes.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely.
And that was Amanda's idea, which was really good.
It happens when I'm at home. If my little brother sees that I do something and I get something for it, he'll want to do it just because he's going to get something.
Absolutely. There's a lot to do, and you can't do it all at once, and you mustn't do it all at once, because you're all very busy people, and we've got to face it, and we've got to plan it, and we've got to target it, and we've got to be successful at this.
Ken is encouraged by the school's honesty and commitment. After a long day, he sums up his feelings.
They've been very open, they've been very frank. They could have hidden some of the things today from me. They could have put on a show, so to speak, but they didn't. They showed me all as it was. And now we've drawn a line in the sand. We said, right, OK, now we know where we were. We know what we've got to do. Now is the time to change, and hopefully over the next 2 or 3 months, we can show progress graphically on what we've saved.
It's Monday morning, and Jordan's in early. He's rather subdued after Ken's forensic examination of Castlevale's lack of green credentials. He's chivying form tutors. He wants them to nominate green champions for each tutor group.
Most teachers are interested in getting this done. Unfortunately, there are a handful who really don't see the environment as an issue and aren't particularly interested in it. I'm just going to keep moaning at them until if I moan at them enough, they'll want me off their back and they'll nominate those kids, and then it will be the kids' job to ensure that that form room is looked after, because the kids are a lot more enthusiastic about this project than some of the teachers are.
Staff briefing, and Clive Owen spreading the message. He's trying to live up to the role of Green Master Guardian.
First of all, just a quick message about the things we're doing around energy conservation and whatever. Just to let you know that we've got somebody coming out today to see what we can do about sighting a paper skip, because I know it's now piling up in your classrooms and in various places around the school. And just to warn you again that the Year 10s who are going around with their clipboards regarding checking up on you regarding monitors and lights in rooms will be around. As you know, we had the energy survey last week, and with Ken Heaton of Mighty, and he's putting together some sort of idea for us for how much we can save by switching off lights and checking monitors and computers are off. But in the meantime, when you move away from your monitor, if you can make sure you do switch it off, if you're going out of your room for more than a moment or two, actually switch off your lights. It'll make a dramatic difference in terms of our recycling and energy use. Thank you very much.
A local paper recycling firm has agreed to provide the school with a skip, and the local council will pay for its collection. But it needs to be sited in the right place. It'll have to go next to the school's main waste skip.
If you could get the council vehicle to pull his forward to the front of the bay, and then when our vehicle comes to deliver, we'll slot it in behind. And then whenever we come to empty, our drivers will have to move your bin out of the way, put it down, empty ours, and then put this one back again. I think that's probably the only way we're going to work it. Only paper goes into this container. One thing you won't be able to do is collect it in a black sack and throw it into our bin. Because the paper will go direct to the paper mill in the truck, and it'll be tipped directly there, and they'll use it straight away. There won't be any sorting, so we can't have plastic bags or anything like that.
So we've got to make sure that we do that effectively.
That's right, yeah.
So Jordan Kelly's got the paper recycling underway, and Ken's initial feedback after his green audit produces some exciting facts and figures. Momentum is building.
I think our next week is really about what can we do about getting the skip active, so they can actually start each day bringing paper down, getting it in there, so they start to see that building up and filling. And then alongside that, ask them maybe to work on switching off lights and putting computers, monitors off, those kind of issues, which is, I mean, according to Ken, is going to make a massive difference in terms of
Huge
savings.
amounts. Just the lights, the computers, and a tiny bit on printers and stuff is over £9,000 a year.
You're talking pretty well at an admin level, half a member of staff there. And if that means we can bring a member of staff in and buy those savings or invest in computers or whatever it might be, it's well worth doing, massively worth doing.
That's just the quick hits. Obviously, we're going to have the Green Champions as a reminder soon. Still waiting for a few form tutors to get back in touch, but I'm sending out moany emails.
Fierce reminders now, Jordan. It's really important we get those, because we want to keep the impetus going. I think those 2 green champions in each form will make a big difference, because they're going to be kids who are passionate about it.
And unfortunately, there's some forms have had their green champions for 2 weeks now, and they're just sitting there doing nothing whilst we wait for the rest of the guys to nominate theirs.
Those fierce reminders do the trick. It's 1 month into the project, and Jordan's finally got all his green champions. Time to brief them on their new roles and responsibilities.
Now I'm going to introduce you to these guys. They're working quite closely with me to keep everyone on track. You are going to be in charge of your form rooms. In the mornings, you get there, and if the lights are on and your teacher isn't there, your form tutor isn't there, when they get there, you just have a bit of a moan at them for leaving their lights on.
Sir, but did some of the teachers lock the doors on you?
Some of the...
Okay, so if the door's locked and the lights are on, then you have to have an extra big moan for me, okay? Because that means that no one can get in and turn it off.
What should we do if we go past any classroom and it's on and no one's in there?
Yep, similarly, if no one's in there and the lights are on, just the lights, switch the lights off, okay? After school, do the same. Pop back quickly. If the lights are on and there's no one there, just switch them off. Each form room's going to have a big tub for recycling paper. It's your teacher's job to fill that tub, but it's going to be your job to empty it. At the end of the year, we're going to have some rewards for the form rooms that are doing the best. If you don't do too well, we'll name and shame you and your form tutor in one of the assemblies.
Jordan's Green Army is on the march. Its mission to make sure that teachers and pupils begin to behave in a much more sustainable way. In just 3 weeks, Castleville School has already taken some significant steps. They set up a green team, seen an energy survey carried out to identify some quick and easy ways of saving money, and they've got staff and students to start changing their behaviour. But PCs are left on standby, and lights are being left on. There's a long way to go yet. As you'll find out in the next programme, what may seem straightforward on paper isn't always easy in practice.
I was a little bit disappointed, to tell you the truth, that they not grabbed the bull by the horns and let's get this monitoring and targeting in.
And changing the attitudes and behaviour of staff is going to be one of Green champion Jordan Kelly's biggest challenges.
I'd like just to explain why you've left your lights on in the classroom at break time.